Totally agree on the under.
Another ranked versus ranked. Number 5 Clemson at number 21 Wake Forest here. Clemson favored by 7, the total 55 in a hook. Clemson still hanging on to that number 5 ranking.
Still hanging on to the number 5 ranking. Still not really progressing with DJ Uiagalelei as far as the passing game goes. And I'm not saying they've thrown it out to the wayside, but everything's built through Will Shipley. You said this before the season started. That's what they found last year. That's what they've brought into this season, and that's really what they've been doing so far. But this matchup is one where it's just a bad matchup for Wake Forest's offensive scheme with what Dave Clawson likes to do, that slow RPO. You're outmatched up front. That defensive front for Clemson is going to penetrate. They're going to disrupt. You can't run those slow RPOs when you've got an offensive line that can't hold up versus those guys. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and lay the points here with Clemson. I know they're on the road. Could be a tough environment, but the reality is that defense is going to shut down Wake Forest and that passing attack that likes to utilize some of that, much like we saw a year ago.
Amanda, you mentioned them being 5th in the country. They really don't belong there. It's more of a history, and they've earned a reputation of being one of the better teams in college football. But this year, we haven't seen a top 5 team. We've seen a top 5 defense, maybe better, but I don't trust this offense. And if there was ever a game to get right, it would be against this Wake Forest defense, which has struggled in the last couple of years. This should be a game where they start to shine, but they haven't shined against lesser opponents all season long. So I think they're going to get Wake Forest's best shot, and I don't know how many points Wake Forest needs to put up to make this game really interesting. I think, Clemson, we'll see what they can do, but I think this will be a closer game with inside the number. I hope, for the ACC's perspective, this is their standard bearer. This is their best chance to make a playoff. They need Clemson to figure things out offensively. What I'm trying to figure out, similar to Jimbo's system, which is antiquated, Clemson's been running the same thing. Brandon Streeter's the offensive coordinator. It's getting a little stale offensively, and teams have kind of figured out what they're doing with runs through Will Shipley. You got a quarterback who doesn't look like he wants to run the football. They try to run him somewhat. It just looks a little bit off. So we'll see if Clemson gets it right. Until they do, I'm going to fade them in this spot.
It's tough because it feels like it's a system, and you're plugging DJ Uiagalelei into that system and kind of making him operate within it. They need to do some more things that play to his skill set or strengths, or get Cade Klubnik in there. I mean, it's one of those two options. Either you play the young guy, see what he's capable of doing, or you start to build that offense out around DJU, and that really hasn't been the case since he's been there.
Opposite sides when it comes to the pick, but both agree that we need to see a little bit more from DJ Uiagalelei. Recapping their picks thus far, taking a look at some ranked versus ranked teams here. Both laying the points with the Volunteers, lock unity when it comes to the Razorbacks and taking the under there. And then opposite sides for number 5 Clemson at Wake Forest. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.